Yay! You were
Yay.
nervous. You were nervous that that wasn't going to go through.
No, I had faith in you. I had 100% faith that we were gonna pull that off.
Great.
How are you?
I'm doing terrific. I'm anxious to get back to work.
Well, so May 18th, I've heard for Broward, but I don't know about personal services. Have you?
No, they put us in a very strange situation because we are medical. It gives us, we're essential, but they defined it as, life-threatening care. You have to have emergency care.
I have life-threatening care. I need it myself.
Yes, and a lot of my patients say the same thing.
Well, my salons, we've been talking all morning about it. And I think between now and the 18th, the pressure for barbers and salons and massage, it's going to bubble up. I've got people opening against the law really right now because people are just frustrated.
Right. I'm interested because some patients of ours that are dentists, they opened. And I just can't see nostrils, nose, mouth. I know that they're covered, they're protected as we would be, but I'm not sure what the mandate was to allow them because they were open for essential, for emergencies, but not non-essential. But now it's elective, so you can go in and have a tooth filled. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we may be next. I don't know.
I hope so, because I'm booking.
You'll be one of the first, Beth.
I promise you. I just told my hair salon, okay, I don't want to be the first on the 18th if you can open, but as soon as you have an opening, I want in there. And she's like, oh, you can come on the 18th. I have a wide open book.
Great. Also, too, if they open like phase 1, 25%, I have 25% for sure that are looking to get in on that, right when it starts. But we'll have plenty of space.
Right. Well, and like I said, I would always defer to, if I had to wait 3 days, I'm happy to wait 3 days, but I'm definitely going to be in there in your first wave.
And you're also a Gold Club member. You've been coming to us since the day we opened, or maybe even before we opened.
We have to talk about that because that's, last night when I was thinking, I sent him all of those traditional questions, but there's so much more to his story. Like,
oh my gosh.
Right.
It's a big story. Yeah. It's a fun story. Jody and I look back on it a lot and say, boy, we really trailblazed, medical massage when medical massage wasn't around.
100%. You were way pre-Massage Envy, right?
Yes. Yes. And Massage Envy is terrific, but they're not medical. They're not. I mean, things can feel medical, but they don't go in with a medical approach. They don't do insurance billing, stuff like that.
Right. Exactly. So we're gonna talk all about that. So I'm excited. I'm just excited that we were able to connect on.
Me too.
And now you know.
And now I know.
Were you calling Drew and Reese saying, Beth wants me to connect on Instagram. I don't know how to do this. Were you calling them or no? You were doing
I was going to call Reese, but then I was going to have to take all the flack. Like, Dad, come on, you don't know this. I'm showing my age.
Awesome. And you're at the center because I want you to kind of do a tour. Can you do that or no? Or are you on your laptop?
Sure, I can do a tour. I've actually you'll start to see some of the things we put in place to redirect. There's going to be a well choreographed movement through the center where you can't come up to the front desk. We don't have the plexiglass like a lot of people do, so we need to keep everybody 6 feet from the desk, which would keep people 10 feet from anybody who's helping at the reception area. But we'll have a flow of people, and we have to limit the number of people in the hallway, and there can't be anybody in the waiting room, so they have to wait outside. But as you know, we take people right at the moment that their appointment is. So
tell your landlord to add benches outside of your space.
He won't. He may because of the situation right now with COVID-19, but because of the hallway, he said it's encroaching on the
common area?
No, handicap. Because we have bushes, so if you put something there, you don't have the width for a wheelchair or appropriate handicap.
Right, right. And you have we're going to start in a sec, but you have bushes right outside, so you can't even like put maybe some Adirondack chairs or something in the green area because you have bushes, right?
Yeah, I mean, theoretically we could, but it would make somebody have to walk over the bushes or all the way around.
Yeah.
I know in a different part of this complex, he has opening in the bushes and seating there. So he elected not to do it there. But this is a good reason we could do it. Obviously
Right.
now make some changes, even if it's temporary.
Well, I'm doing that. I'm doing a lot of that. At one of my shopping centers, we're taking the 6 front parking spaces. This is in front of Starbucks, Blaze, and an ice cream store, and I'm putting outdoor seating temporarily. So
Mhm.
while if they can open at 25%, then that will add maybe another 25, and then I'll put the parking spaces back in 90 days when we're back up to 100. But for right now, we need, this is, I just saw an article this morning on Facebook where Winter Park shut down their main street and all of the restaurants are adding seats in the streets.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. So here we are, Dennis Ferretta. Welcome to Small Business Saturday series.
Thank you for having me, Beth. It's great to see you. Air hug, air hug.
I'm so excited. Yeah. How about elbow bumps? Elbow bumps. I'm so excited to have you. And we have an audience that is already jumping on. I'm already seeing some comments. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to introduce you. So Dennis Ferretta and the Ferretta family.
That's correct.
Which, when I first started going to the Center for Massage Therapy, how old in 1989 was Reese and Drew, your boy?
My older son was 4 and my younger son was 2. They're now 35 and 33.
And they give me massages.
I know it. And Drew is a acupuncture physician.
Right.
After being a massage therapist for many years. And Reese is an awesome therapist who's just diversified into so many things as a great therapist here. And my wife, who's retired, but really not retired because she handles all of our laundry outside of the office. So she washes and folds everything, and it's a big job.
That's a big job, and it's going to get bigger. So tell everyone where you're located and what your hours are, and the services you provide, just to open up today's discussion.
Terrific. Okay, so we're at 9850 Sterling Road in Cooper City. We're at Suite 101. About 5 years ago, we expanded, so we've moved over. Some people know us from the original, like Beth, you would know us from the original office. So our hours here are Monday through Saturday. We do sometimes Sunday by appointment. The typical hours are 8 to 5, sometimes 8 to 6. Acupuncture can go as late as 7 and 8 o'clock at night. Probably not on the weekends, though.
And you have, so Jody is the laundress, and then you have Drew, Reese. You still do massages, right?
I do, yeah.
And how many other therapists do you have?
We have 4 other therapists. We have Charlene, Ashley, Susan, Erin on occasion when she helps us out.
And how many massage rooms and acupuncture rooms?
So we basically are set up with 3 acupuncture rooms and 3 massage rooms, but we steal from Drew. So if we need 4 massage treatments going on, we can steal from him. And he's terrific too, because his setup is he can actually treat a lot more patients in an hour than we can. So
Right.
He theoretically could have 3 of the treatment rooms going, of his treatment rooms going at one time.
That's great. So
Great
okay.
for him.
So let's go way back.
Way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
I found you in 1990
Yeah.
in an article in the Miami Herald.
That's correct. Marcia Halper wrote that article.
Yes. And I had been this person who started getting massages as probably a teenager because my mom liked getting them, and we would go on vacation at resorts and we would get massages. And that's how I would get a massage. I would go to a hotel and go to a spa and get a massage. And I was 30 years old in 1990. And I remember opening up the article and seeing that, there was this center where you could not have to go to a hotel. and it was very economically priced. And I came and saw you, and you weren't open full time. So tell the story, because this is a wonderful entrepreneurial story.
Right, right. Well, being very entrepreneurial, I found myself in a corporate setting from 1981 to 1991. Okay, so for 10 years, I was a software engineer. But what happened was, even though I loved what I was doing, I knew that my calling was to work for myself. Even as a software engineer, I designed stuff that was on my own, and it kind of gave me that entrepreneurial feeling. But I did say to my wife, let's see, so we opened in 89, 87. So late 86, probably early 87, I said to my wife, I think that we need to slow me down at my office at doing software, and I'm going to go to school to be a massage therapist. And we're going to open a practice that's fully medical, which was unheard of back then. Our business plan was we were going to open up in white scrubs and white sheets and white everything. And at the time that we were planning this, there was one massage therapist. It wasn't medical. It was one massage therapist in Davie, one in Hollywood. That's the only one we knew. There was one in Pompano, but we hadn't been up that far. I don't know about Miami. So we really felt that we were coming into a point where we could offer a medical approach to something that works terrifically medically, feels great for you, and could be insurance billing, and could work closely with the doctors. Prior to that, you might have had a chiropractic assistant who just massaged you for a few minutes. Now, massages feels great, but there can certainly be a strong therapeutic aspect to it. And we figured that out. Only after all these years, they're just now certifying medical massage, which I've become a medical massage practitioner.
Wow.
But look at all the years it took to actually get that to see people where they could really see that it was medical.
Yeah. So going back to you
yes.
were at your full-time job.
Yes.
And so
the only way I could do it was I had to stay working as a software engineer for 2 full years, actually a little bit over. And I would leave work and I'd go to school, and I'd finish school and then come back and have a late shift here. I'd probably do a 7, 8, and 9. So I did that for almost 2.5 years before we could fully open. And we were very, very fortunate. Jody, what happened was after about a year of me doing that, she went to school and she became licensed. And then she was able to enter the office. So by middle of 1990, probably, she was, maybe the end of 1990, she was licensed. So it was tough juggling that, but you know what? Entrepreneurs, they take the chance, they take the risk, they bet on themselves. And I knew if it was me and Jody, family oriented and pushing this, we were going to do everything we could to survive. Within 3 months, we were breaking even. Within 6 months, we were showing a profit.
that is awesome. So I was part of the, what would you say? Was I in the first 100 clients?
I would say absolutely in the first 100 clients.
Right.
Yes.
And how many clients now have you, over the 30 years, have you?
Oh my gosh. I tried to figure that out one time. It's
Thousands.
Yes, it's tens of thousands for
Tens
sure.
of thousands.
Now,
Yeah.
me personally is probably in the 10,000 range, but certainly well over. If you remember when you came in the first time, we had a glass table with a book that you wrote in. There were no computers. We didn't have any computers. We didn't have smartphones or anything. You'd say, can I come in Wednesday for an hour and a half? And we'd write Beth, 90 minutes in pencil.
Yeah, I remember when I found, and you're only like about 7 miles from my house. So you're in Cooper City, I'm in Davie, and I'm thinking, and I walk in and it kind of looked like a medical office. And I thought, because back then, massage,
Yes.
back then did not have a healthy reputation, right? And if you would drive by a center and there would be a sign that says massage on the outside, you're thinking something other than what you provided.
Absolutely.
And that's why people went to spas and hotels, because they felt safer.
Absolutely.
So I remember walking in, first of all, reading the article, thinking, okay, this is legitimate. This is awesome. It's 7 minutes from my house. I can go every week. I used to come every Saturday at 4 o'clock. For years, that was my standing. I would work a few hours in the day, go run some errands. And then every Saturday at 4 o'clock was my standing. And until I realized I could do hour and a halves, which now, and now the first time I come back, it's going to be a 2 hour.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure you've heard that from people, right?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
But, so I would, but in those early days, so you would do 7, 8, and 9, and then you would also then come in on Saturdays.
Right.
Right. And you had a young family, like you said, 2 and 4-year-old.
Absolutely.
So talk about being an entrepreneur. So were you an entrepreneur when you were growing up and younger?
You know, my father owned his own business. He had 2 butcher shops, which I started out as my first jobs. I was a butcher for him. I worked at the office. I saw his freedom. He was very focused on his work and didn't want to do anything after that. But I was always saying to him, Dad, can we do this? Dad, can we do that? So I grew up kind of in an entrepreneurial situation for sure. I saw that he was able to be done, half day on Saturday, 4 days during the week. So I knew that there were benefits. I didn't realize that once you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business, you wear a lot of hats.
You're never done.
You're never done. You're home and you're never done. Even if I'm not doing massage. I've got a couple great stories about that. One time my son said to me, Dad, you're writing all this information for the insurance companies. When do you have time to do that? I said, I'm here at 6 o'clock in the morning, every morning. I said, when do you think that I do it? So he doesn't realize all the extras that you have to do. I want to jump back real quick because we started in the earlies. When I went to the city and said, I want to open a massage practice, a medical massage practice, they said, no way, not in Cooper City.
Oh,
and
I didn't know.
Yeah, they said, no way. And I said, well, wait a minute, legally, you can't tell me. I'm not doing anything illegal. You can't tell me. Do I need to get, legal involved here? And so they were wanting me to get them some people that would like vouch for us. So we did. We had a chiropractor say, no, he's doing medical massage. It's going to be family oriented, and that helped. Then you were mentioning the sign. So I went to them after I had an architect draw a sign that said massage in capital letters. And the city said, oh, no, you can't do that. You have to put therapy. And I said, no, that's a physical therapist or psychology. They said, can you put anything other than massage? And I said, no. And they said, can you put it in lowercase? And I said, no. And they allowed me to.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then for 20 plus years, the mayor of Cooper City was my patient.
There you go. Okay, so now can you show us around the center?
I can. Beth, the first thing I want to show you, other than my messy office, is that's the article, if you can see it.
Yes, and that used to be on the wall, right?
Yeah, Sunday, September 17th, 1989.
That was the article that started my path with you. I've been a client since 1989.
Yeah.
Almost weekly. That is my decadence. Okay, wow, look, you started making changes for COVID.
Yes. So what we have now is the chairs, because we're not going to have anybody sitting in the chairs. The chairs are keeping us away from the front desk. And I have the floor, if you can see, where I've taped it off so that we can travel. So when they come in, they will have a mask. Gloves are optional, but we won't be treating hands, Beth, so you can't have your hands done.
I like my hands. Okay, well,
yeah,
that's okay.
Actually, if you wear a glove, we'll do it.
No, I'm not going to wear gloves.
Okay. So then we'll track across here, and then.
So did OSHA tell you not to massage hands?
No, but it's a common thing through our association that hands are avoided due to the fact that people can sneeze or cough, gotcha, even through a mask and go into the hand. This guy's been waiting here a long time to get a massage.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, and he's definitely not positive for COVID-19.
Right.
So on the right side here, this is my son's office here, and these are the therapy rooms for acupuncture. Yeah. And then we have our bathroom.
It looks like
which has
paper supply towel.
Yeah, plenty of supplies in there. And you can see all the antiseptics and everything. Everything gets wiped down, after each patient. The concept is that a patient shouldn't have to touch anything. No doors, no doorknobs. We open and close the door for you.
Right.
This is one of our treatments. This is a massage room. I don't know if you can see that right there.
We can, and as long I don't care about hands as long as my scalp and my feet can get done.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So now on this side we have the one that I just showed you. This is Reese's room here.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then the front desk area.
Okay, awesome. So, all right. So, did your boys always want to be part of the business?
Actually, no. So what happened is my son Drew, my oldest son, he was in at BC, Broward College, and it was slow for him. He was taking the courses, but he wanted to make some money. So he said, you know what, I'm going to go to massage school while I'm going to BC. And he went to massage school. And that was the first time he was really thinking about, joining our office. And his instructor was an acupuncturist.
Right.
And he was absolutely taken. So he built a beautiful clientele doing massage. And the day he graduated, he got his master's degree in Chinese medicine and natural health science. The day he graduated, he was fully booked with acupuncture. He's been needling since the day he graduated.
And he's traveled a lot, right?
He's traveled a lot. He went to, when he graduated, we sent him to China. He studied in the Chinese schools, which was terrific. So he mentored some of the doctors, traditional Chinese doctors that are there. So he had a blast doing that and learned a lot and was able to bring some good information back.
Yeah, I've done acupuncture with him on 3 different occasions for things that I had issues with, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, it is terrific.
But I've never given up my weekly massages.
No, and you never have to.
I never do. Okay, so so what were you guys thinking? So here you are. So first of all, landlords and cities, massage, in all of the anchor leases like Publix,
right?
It used to say no massage.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So you had an uphill battle, and then out of nowhere, I don't know if it was out of nowhere, but out of nowhere came this company called Massage Envy.
Right.
Which, I don't know if it was, I'm thinking it was both a blessing and a curse. I don't know how you're going to define it, but it definitely helped open up the pathways for acceptance into something that you and I have known has been perfectly fine and wonderful for years and years. But what were you thinking? Like, how did that come about? Like when you started hearing about it and then you saw them start popping up, like thoughts about that?
Okay. So it's a really interesting thing that happened because you're right. You get 2 different feelings out of this. Let's go back to the article. The article for us in 1989 legitimized our business. So that little bit of advertising, legitimate. Okay. So now here comes Massage Envy. I heard about it very early on. I heard that their plans were 800 stores across, and I said, oh my God, so competition is going to be crazy. Now, are they going to be a little bit different than us? We're medical, we insurance bill, we communicate with the insurance companies. We're getting credentialed for Humana Medicare, which is unheard of. We're doing VA stuff. Massage Envy doesn't do that. What they do, even though they're one on every corner, they advertised tremendously and they legitimized massage.
Right.
It brought it to the forefront. It brought it to the technology, which, I wasn't. Even as a software engineer, I was never able to spend enough time to bring massage online really and promote it.
Right.
Which I should have. But so Massage Envy brought awareness. It's a day-to-day
well, I know
household work.
And how I felt it changed as just a landlord, right? So I knew I'd been going to you for, like I said, 30 years. I understood it. It was something that, that I, like the legitimacy of it, of course, 100%. But what I knew, like I used to tell people, oh yeah, I get massages every week. What, you do? And it took that what people thought was maybe a luxury decadence,
right,
to now you saw everyday people, all ages. This is a very interesting question I have for you. Before Massage Envy exploded, what percentage of your clientele You had some non-medical clientele, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Of the non-medical clientele, what percentage were female versus male? Do you know?
There was probably a higher percentage of female.
Right. Because I think personal service, like we like to pamper ourselves.
Yes.
And what I
Yes.
say, when I go to the tower shops where Massage Envy is, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I see people walking in there now, I bet it's 50-50. There's now
Right.
guys who, again, the same thing like with pedicures. For years, guys wouldn't get pedicures. They certainly were not going to go get massages. And I know I'm probably overgeneralizing, but I truly believe when I would ever come every week to the Center for Massage Therapy, your location, 80% were women.
Yes.
There were maybe guys there, but I always felt that they had an injury or a medical reason for being there.
Right. Right.
Like
And
their doctor told them they had to go do this. It wasn't like, let me go relax and get a massage.
right. No, I agree with you. It's probably still, our clientele is probably still a higher percentage of female, but there's a lot more males. What Massage Envy did, they brought it to a much younger crowd. If I was to say that most of our patients were 40, other than the women, I would say mostly men, 40 and over. I know that Massage Envy's clientele base are much younger.
Yeah. So it was a blessing and
it.
a curse, right? Blessing and a curse. Like, but did your business drop when they started opening, or maybe temporarily and then it picked up, or how did that happen? Because I mean, look, I know there are times where I don't plan ahead and call and I can't get in. Like,
Sure.
So, and I'm one of the top 100. I should be able to get in there.
That's right. That's right.
I'm teasing. But I don't think your business has suffered in any way.
It really hasn't suffered, but I can tell you one of the things that's really noticeable, and I love this story, even though it doesn't necessarily have a great ending. When I was,
by the way, thank you for being so open and honest.
Oh no, this is terrific.
I mean, this is I want to put a spotlight on small businesses, and especially in our community, right? In South Florida, because hopefully we're opening soon. Right?
Well, this is part of being entrepreneurial, is being open to share for other people to have maybe some better insight going into certain things. With the things, we've been around so long, we've done good things and bad things. We can share some of our bad things too. So one of our biggest gift certificate times is, well, actually two: Mother's Day and Christmas holidays. Okay. I would come in and I would stay here, and I'd call my wife and I'd say, I'm not coming home until the last car has pulled up to get gift certificates. And I couldn't get out of here. It was nighttime and we still had presents to wrap. We had all kinds of stuff to do for the kids, right? And we used to hide all the gifts here so they couldn't find them at the house. Well, I couldn't leave because we would sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gift certificates, and they would just keep coming to the door. I'd shut the light, go to my car, somebody'd pull in, and I'd say, sure, come on in. That has slowed tremendously. We still sell a lot of gift certificates, but it's slowed tremendously because with Massage Envy and the promoting,
they're the top of mind.
Yeah, and it's not just Massage Envy. There's plenty of other ones as well. We're happy that they're less medical and maybe not even medical, but that's really the only thing that I see. Because if you break down, it's the gift certificates. They can get it easier. There's a drive-up gift certificates. There's certainly online gift certificates. They afforded a lot of money into the online type of getting gift certificates too. They advertise tremendously for the certificates. Our business being a little bit different, we have, what they won't have is, we'll have, let's say, 10 insurance patients. And then those 10 insurance patients are ordered by the physician to come 3 times a week. So there's fewer people, but more treatment.
Right.
And the directive is that they're going to come, through their prescription, telling them how often, and they may or may not redo. If we can help them by the end of their time, the doctor might find that they've reached maximum medical improvement.
How many people that come as medical patients stay as decadent? like me as, massage clients going forward because they say, wow, this is pretty nice?
Well, it's a great question because yes, I've had patients that have come on, having insurance cover it. And then they say, oh, when my insurance is done, I'm staying with it. And then when their insurance is done, they don't because, and I do see them on occasion because it's hard to pay for something that you haven't paid for.
True.
There's an interesting dilemma with insurance that ends up biting us a little bit. And I try to explain to somebody, if somebody comes in and they have an insurance that will pay. And I tell them, all right, so how about if somebody came in and I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you 50% discount right now. They're going to love it. But if they have insurance and I tell them that their insurance only pays 50%, they don't like that. And they get mad at us.
Right.
And I explained to them, I said, listen, you're getting a tremendous reduction, but you do have to put some money out. And they said, no, sometimes I can talk to them about it. And sometimes they call back and say, listen, I'm really in a lot of pain and I need to do what I need to do. So we really fight to get them covered and we want them to be covered. And it has been more and more difficult to get them covered. But we've been with insurance billing since 1992 and we really have it down pat.
And you guys do it. You don't make the clients do it.
Absolutely. We do everything. We do.
Yeah, I think that's so huge. So, yeah. And you've always had such great therapists. I remember after I gave birth to Alex, 9 pounds, 14 ounces, 10 pounds, 14 ounces. I couldn't get over there. And all I wanted to do was get a massage, and you were so generous. And and this never happens. You never do this, but because I was in the original 100, I got a home visit, which was awesome because I really needed it. So, have you gone online? Like, was that one of the benefits? Like, can you order gift certificates online now or not?
Well, you could. I've had some changes to that particular, our software that runs the office called Booker. I don't love their section for doing the gift certificates, and I'm working on that. I did have it live for a period of time. It's not really live now. There's a way you can sneak into it, but that's one of my goals for this year, but I haven't really been working on that. I think I mentioned to you earlier about, I felt really strange. Here we are with my second largest time, but I really felt an ethical responsibility to not strongly promote Mother's Day gift certificates because you could get a gift certificate and not be able to use it for two months. If the governor says he's under a lot of pressure right now, he wants to open up South Florida. There are places that don't want to open up. We're very tactile. We understand the responsibility that we have to keep our patients healthy and free from this virus. And what if they say you can't open till 2 months? I know that there's states that aren't going to open till July.
Yeah.
So I would hate to sell gift certificates and not be able to have them redeemed.
I so applaud you with that. I do applaud you with it. And hopefully everyone that's listening and watching currently and will watch in the future by then you'll be open and we'll all call. And for people that are not familiar with you and live in the area, we'll either call and come visit or buy a gift certificate.
Yes.
For sure.
Listen, this brought tears to my eyes. I'm getting choked up now.
Oh.
I had patients calling me.
We love you, Dennis.
And they actually said to me they wanted to buy packages ahead of time to help
you and the business. How awesome is that?
Yep.
That's what being loyal customers of phenomenal small businesses are doing, right? I've heard that they're doing that with hair salon, paying ahead for the next 3 highlight appointments, right?
Right.
So how great is that? So what did you say? Did you say?
I said no. I said no way. I said, listen, I'm going to reopen. I don't care when it is and how it is. I'm going to reopen. There's no way they're going to stop me from being here. I've been here for 31 years now. So we're going to be here. It was so heartfelt. And I couldn't believe they were offering that, but I could never take their money up front.
Well, I love that. I still have a package. I hope to God I have at least some left in my package for my 2 hour that I'm definitely having as soon as they tell us. I'm doing nails, hair, and massage. Okay, so what is your best item for non-medical? What's the best selling? Is it, because you have different things you offer, right?
Yeah.
Different services.
Yeah.
So what's the go-to? Is it a 30-minute, a 50-minute? Is it the acupuncture? What's the best-selling item in the last year?
Definitely the best-selling item is a 1-hour massage. And the patient gets an opportunity to communicate to us how they're feeling. So if somebody just loves a wonderful, relaxing, even if it's deep pressure and non-deep pressure, we have a go-to routine. All therapists, and I train them, I work with them, I interview them, I give them treatments, they give me treatments. So we know what we do. I know what a therapist can do. And it's a fallback routine that is going to be comfortable and therapeutic. That's if you really don't tell us what you want. And most people love that. But if you come in and you say, hey, listen, Dennis, my neck and shoulders are just killing me. I don't care about my feet and my legs right now. We'll spend an hour on your neck, back, and shoulders and supportive structures for that.
Right.
And we know this. We know this because of the years' experience we have in understanding different pathologies and different conditions. So when somebody comes in and they say, I have sciatic, we know the routine for sciatic. We know what we're going to do to cover that. But the go-to is an hour relaxing / therapeutic treatment. They want to feel like they've had a massage. They want to maybe feel a little bit of that soreness during the workout and maybe even a little bit afterwards because they know that they've gotten the treatment.
I'm very customized.
Yes, absolutely very customized. You love your scalp being done twice.
Yeah. Start with the scalp and then end with the scalp. Right.
Right.
Everyone knows. But that's why I love coming there because I will go in. I'll tell you this story. This was a horrible story. Not horrible, but not in the scheme of things horrible, but you'll appreciate how horrible. So my friends threw me a day spa at a hotel for my 50th. So 9 of my girlfriends, we go to the spa and we all had, services. And of course I have my 1.5-hour massage and like literally the guy is spending 30 minutes on my back. And like about 20 minutes in, of course, I walked in and said, I really like my scalp, my hands, my feet. Okay. So like 20 minutes in, I'm like, I think you got the back, buddy. Like, can we move on to some? And so and now he's like, it's almost near the end. And he says, I haven't had a chance to do your scalp. Do you want to add another 15 minutes?
Oh.
I was furious. And I wasn't paying, obviously. And I said, no, that's okay. So I come out and my friends are like, how was it? I'm like, it was awesome. But I'll never forget, I was furious. Because the back I presume the back is an easy no-brainer thing. And I'm like, hello, I think you got the back now. Can we move on to the things I asked you for? So what I like about the Center for Massage Therapy, no matter whether I have Reese or you or Charlene, I mean, it is customizable and you guys listen. If
right.
I say, can you please do my scalp in the beginning and the end? I'm sure they're thinking, what in the world? But but you guys do what the customer wants, what the patient or the client wants. And I think that is so important.
Yes. The first time a patient comes in, it's very important to us for them to understand, for the patient to understand that we are providing a service to them. And they should not feel uncomfortable at all because it assists us to tell us if the pressure is good. We should ask, the therapist should ask for sure. Is the pressure good? I mean, I like deep work on my neck and shoulders. I like less deep work on my legs. It's too painful to me in the legs. But it's absolutely customizable and we'd be happy to accommodate. Like I said, if somebody comes in and they just want their lower back done, you can spend an hour on the lower back. Specifically to not overdo the lower back, but you can do that. There are ways to do that.
Do you have a sister or a brother?
I have 4 sisters and a brother.
Well, one of them is watching. Martin?
Yes, yes, that might be
Martin?
Martine.
Martine, is that your
Yeah.
sister?
Hi, Martine.
She's very proud of you, Jody, and the boys.
Hey,
Okay.
Martine owns a massage practice too.
Did you help her
And
get in the business?
she asked a few questions, but she's a trailblazer also.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so so many of the people that are in my audience are leasing agents, and you've learned a lot about leasing over the years because I've been
Yes.
behind, right?
Yes,
Right?
yes. You've been wonderful with helping me.
We've shared a lot of stories. So I have a question to you for my audience. Do you know what the word canvassing means?
Canvassing. I could probably take a guess, trying to understand your surrounding area for pricing and.
Kind of. So this is
Okay.
what canvassing is.
Yeah.
I lease shopping centers, right? My job is to fill vacancies, and I
Sure.
walk into the Center for Massage Therapy, and not a peak time, so not Saturday at 3 o'clock. And let's say I go in on a Monday at 9:30, and you're sitting at the desk, and or Jody or Charlene or Reese or Drew, and I have a flyer, and I say, "Hi, I lease shopping centers in Broward County. Have you thought about expansion?" And I do that to the 1,000 businesses in Broward County on a weekly basis.
Wow.
So that's how I fill my vacancies.
Wow.
So my question to you is, if someone came in and said that to you and you didn't have 15 people in the waiting room, right? It was clear that you were, you had some time and it wasn't on the hour. Like, the leasing agents have to be thinking, okay, if
Right.
this is a massage therapist, they're going to be, if it's at 9:15, they're not in a session and not about to go in a session, right? So how would you feel about someone walking in with a flyer saying that?
I would not have any problem with that at all. It's interesting information. It definitely sparks, interest in thinking, do I want to expand? Do I have other opportunities? Yeah.
Okay, it says, because, I teach leasing vacancies around the country to leasing agents, and many of them say that the small businesses don't like to be interrupted. And I say, well, they don't like to be interrupted by the cable guy, but if
Right.
you have a shopping center down the street, I bet a lot of them are interested in what's the rent.
Sure.
Right?
Definitely. Yes, it gives insight to what the local rent is, what might be available, what opportunities are out there, for sure.
I had, Padrino's Cuban restaurant
Uh-huh.
in Plantation, and, they were in business for 40 years with one location.
Yeah.
Until I met Mario Padrino and opened the location for him in the Fountains.
Wow.
So his parents were never interested in expanding. And then I met him. He was 21, 22, just graduated from FIU Hospitality School, and said, I may take my parents' business and expand it. And I opened them in the Fountains in Plantation and then in Boca. Recently, I had an episode, a small business in South Florida. It might be Cooper City or Davie. We interviewed them. We showed them space yesterday. Dad has been in the business for 50 years. Son is now thinking maybe we could open a second location. So it's important, just because you and Jody have had the location you've had for 31 years, maybe Reese and Drew want to take it and open other locations.
Sure. And plus, Jody and I, we live all the way east now. We used to live right across from the office here, but we live all the way east. So there's definitely been opportunities that we thought, well, it could be nice to have an office close.
Exactly. Okay. So thank you for that. So we have a few more questions and then we'll wrap this up. What is one thing you've learned from, the only thing I ask any of the interview questions about COVID is one thing you've learned from COVID in this situation?
I think we were tremendously unprepared for a pandemic like this. I think as a business owner, you look at different things that can hurt your business, from competition to hurricane to so many things, and help your business. After I think it was Andrew, where everybody in Miami was hurting. They were coming to Broward. Our business was booming in 1992, 93. But we need to protect ourselves. And I think from this point on, from virus situations. Think about prior to this, not really understanding that there could have been a virus that would literally stop our patients from coming in. I don't know that I even ever, I knew that we could, you know, keep somewhat clean by disinfecting and all the things, the protocol that we normally have, but this is well beyond
Right.
what anybody expected. So I think it's just that you can literally, you know, change the economy, but having a pandemic, and it might be something other than a pandemic.
Right.
So I think being more prepared.
Right. You know, how interesting though that you get to also live this through the eyes of your young men, your sons. They're
Yes.
30s, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how interesting. What's their take on this versus is their take different than you and Jody's take?
Yes. You know what happened is it was their understanding of the severity of the situation was very clear to Jody and I early on. It wasn't for them. They maybe heard too much, like, oh, it's just the government being too panicky and this isn't going to happen. And they've said these things before and they compared it to Ebola and all this stuff, the doom and gloom. But all of a sudden, when the government started to say that they were going to start cutting incentive checks and people have to file unemployment, it really hit home for them a couple of weeks later than us.
Right.
I think Jody and I realized very early on, because of the style of business that we have, we were praying because we are medical professionals, we're licensed healthcare providers, that we would have the ability to stay a little bit longer. But even if we were able to stay a little bit longer, ethically, we started to realize, wow, we could be a source to spread. So we stopped April 1st, which was probably maybe 2 weeks. We were still within our right, but it was probably 2 weeks later than we maybe should have. So preparedness and understanding is that's what it's taught me. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good lesson for those youngsters in the business as we start to think about retiring, right, on the boat
Right.
and skis. They can remember these lessons, right?
Yes.
So I have one last question.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can't say the Center for Massage Therapy. That can't be your answer.
Okay.
That is going to be in my top 3, though. So when they, hopefully on May 18th or whenever it is that they allow South Florida to open back up, the first business you are going to run to and spend money at?
Some fine dining with my wife.
So you got to say a name of a restaurant.
Oh, okay. So Capitol Grill.
Oh,
We want to go there for the seafood tower. So I called there when they
at
were
the
closed.
Galleria. The Galleria.
Yes, yes. Okay. They have a seafood tower to die for. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we got there. We're on their mailing list. So they sent us saying that we still have curbside and, you know, pickup or partial. So I called and I got a hold of one of the guys and said, hey, listen, do you still offer the seafood tower during these times? He goes, nope.
Yeah.
So we will be going back there for the seafood tower, Capitol Grill.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Dennis, I am so happy that you joined us for our Small Business Saturday series. You are
Happy to be here.
definitely one of my favorite small businesses in South Florida. And you can rest assured you are in my top 3. It's nails, hair, and Center for Massage Therapy.
Yay.
So, thank you for going into the office today and giving us a tour. And I highly recommend if you're in South Florida and we can start reopening, go to see Dennis or Drew or Reese or Charlene or all of the other people there on Sterling Road in Cooper City. Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much, Beth. See you soon.